Howdy folks, Sauber here. Welcome back to the channel. I am sorry I have not been able to upload as much as I'd like lately. I'm about 2 weeks overdue, probably a little more than that. But I thought I'd give you guys a little status update, channel update I mean, while you enjoy a nice gameplay with the AMX-13, and as you'll later see, an epic CAS battle. No, it's not just plane versus tank, but plane versus plane. That leaves me with the ridiculous tally that I didn't think, well, let me rephrase that, something you don't see every day. I don't see every day, whether it be me, myself, or my teammates, or even on the other team. You'll see what I'm getting at. So let me focus on why I haven't been uploading as much as I'd like lately. On the 15th of January, about a couple of days after I released my last victory of 2017 video with the T64 gameplay, which was, if you may recall, the gameplay was recorded in 2018, but the game itself took place in 2017, December 31st, about, I believe, half an hour to about 15 minutes before midnight. And the game ended about 5 minutes before midnight. And after that, I got to watch the nice fireworks. That was a troll shot, in case you were wondering, why were you shooting your teammate? But anyway. So, my computer crashed. Thankfully, it wasn't too serious. It was simple operating system corruption. My Windows 7 simply wouldn't boot up. So initially, I thought I could order a Windows 7 reboot disk to repair it. When that didn't work, I decided to take it to H&K Computers, which is not that far from my place. And spoiler alert, don't ever go there. At least not where I live. The one where I live. If it's by the Parker's Corner Market, don't go there. I mean, Parker's is a great place to get food and groceries. It's a small counter market, but don't go to H&K, please. Just don't. Why? Well, I don't know what their problem was. For a start, they assured us it would take a day or two tops. And then that turned into a week, and I thought, well, what's going on? They're just going to reinstall the operating system, right? Back up my stuff. Well, it turns out the tech that was supposed to do that, sorry, you need to deviate a little. I don't know why when I shot at that tortoise with the ATGM, the missile just magically disappeared. I know, logic. Anyway, back on topic. So their tech quit after without even getting started on the PC. Yeah, he just quit. And bear in mind, this was like a small computer shop with like less than 5 employees at any given time. So that hindered them quite a bit. And so another week passes and they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll get it done soon. And then this new guy, I swear to God, he didn't know what on earth he was doing. No pun intended for him. But it's a fact. He didn't know what he was doing. He calls me up and says, hey, dude, just so you know, your motherboard is on its last legs. You might want to replace it. And I'm like, what? That thing is barely even a year old. Because when I got my custom-built PC, that I like to call the Kitsune B, that's B as in B-I, you know, the Japanese Kitsune B. When I bought that, I didn't buy it all in one go. You see, it's not pre-built, it's custom-built, and as you may know, I know the basics of computer hardware, but I didn't know what to buy. So I had a couple friends help me buy the parts. They gave me a list, upgraded a few parts, such as the GPU, doubling its RAM capacity from 4 to 8, and buying an improved aftermarket cooler for the i7 CPU. Anyhow, sorry, I was getting off track a bit. They helped build it because I didn't want to risk messing up a almost $1,200 PC. So I didn't buy all the parts in one go. I bought them over the course of about 3 months, from December to February of 2017. Or excuse me, December 2016 to February 2017. Then around March, I had it built. Initially, okay, long story short, the case, I was originally going to inherit a case, a little cube design with a giant 8 8-inch fan, 200mm fan. Everything fit perfectly, except the GPU. That was the only thing that didn't fit. So it was late at night, so I decided to make an arrangement to come again at another time. And I bought the case. It's a giant case. I'll probably link an image of it. But for the time being, so the parts weren't that old. And I'm thinking, how could a motherboard fail after less than a year? Because that was one of the, although it was one of the first parts I bought, it was still very new. So evidently, I'm thinking something's not right. So I decide just to go with it and ask them just to replace the GPU, or excuse me, not the GPU, the motherboard. And I didn't want to buy the same brand again, ASRock. I know, ASRock. A-S-R-O-C-K. I know. Play on words. Anyhow, because if it was a bad brand, I didn't want to buy it again. So a few more days pass, and finally I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. I had had enough. So I called them up and say, just give me back the computer. I'm gonna take it elsewhere. I just want to get it back. And they're like, oh, no, we can overnight the motherboard. It's only $250. And I'm like, really? Because motherboards are not that expensive. I only paid like 80 bucks for mine. So I take it back. Thank God they didn't expect me to pay any money. They were like, yeah, we screwed up. So I got it back and took it to Fry's Electronics, which is a little out of my way. It's in Austin, but it was worth the journey. And also, it was worth taking it there because they got it done in 2 hours. Yeah, let that sink in. 3 weeks at H&K versus 2 hours at Fry's Electronics. I love Fry's. And in fact, one of my close friends actually works at Fry's. At any rate, get this. There was nothing wrong with the motherboard. They were able to boot it on a portable operating system by a USB stick, which would not have been possible if the motherboard was indeed failing. And so, you see, when they make... I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The guy was like, oh, just so you know, we're going to have to wipe the hard drive if we're going to reinstall Windows. And I'm like, what? Because, sure, I back up a bunch of my stuff, but I had gotten a couple of new games, and I had not yet backed those up, as well as the mod data and DLC I had got. It would have been a lot of trouble to replace it. And some of which, including my own personal mods, would not have been replaceable. Because, long story short, I usually do a quick backup every 2 weeks, sometimes every week. Or, I said that backwards. A week, sometimes every 2 weeks, and then a major backup every month. And by coincidence, that was 2 days before I was going to do the major backup because, well, I forgot what the circumstances were, but circumstances didn't allow me to do it on the day that it just so happened to have crashed. So I'm thinking, man, because you see, when they do backups, they don't back up everything. They think, oh, you need to reinstall your programs, so we don't back those up. Well, that's not how it works anymore. You've got to have everything backed up, except, of course, the operating system, right? So I came up with the idea, I asked the tech, hey, what if I bought a new hard drive, a cheap one, like an SSD, about 250 gig, put Windows 7 on there, because I know what you're probably thinking, why not get Windows 10? Windows 10 is still not very stable compared to Windows 7, and I still enjoy Windows 7. My workplace still uses Windows 7. I want to keep my Windows 7. And so I got Windows 7 Professional, which was a slight downgrade from the Windows 7 Ultimate I previously had, but that's okay. It's working fine now. So we got the hard SSD. Now Windows boots in like 20 seconds as opposed to like a minute or two, which is super nice. And so yeah, everything worked out. I got to keep everything on my old hard drive, and I got an SSD, which may come as a surprise. I actually don't run my games on my SSD because it's a good thing I did not get the 128 gig, which was the original goal. He said, hey, you can get the 250 gig for just 250 or 256, I can't remember. Excuse me for the play on numbers, it's late here, and I wanted to get this video uploaded as quickly as possible, so yeah. So I got the SSD, and there's only like less than 100 gigs left, and when I examined my War Thunder folder, it was almost 70 gigs. You're probably thinking, Why so much? Well, user skins, user missions, and yeah, that adds up to a lot. Plus I have run it on fancy graphics, Ultra. Well, I call it Ultra. It's technically called Max, although there is a movie graphics, which you're probably wondering, why don't I run movie graphics? Well, developers don't recommend it for gameplay. They recommend it for most powerful desktops, and already on maximum, my GPU runs at a nice 60 degrees Celsius average. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I say Celsius because when I did research for what was best for the GPU, it was recommended to keep it on an average of 60 or less, but no more than 80. I can't remember what brand of GPU it was, so I keep it my hardware monitor on Celsius to make things simple for me to remember from that guide. At any rate, so far everything's been working great. I'm very happy with Fry's. Big shout out to them. If you ever have a problem with your computer, go to Fry's Electronics if it's available in your area. They will be a huge help. 6 stars, if I could give them 6 stars, but for obvious reasons I give them 5, which is still great. But yeah, as for my channel, I hope to get back on a regular uploading schedule now that everything is settled again. And I will have an upcoming video coming up shortly after this one that will be a nice treat. It's a nice, I won't spoil it in case it's subject to change, but it is a nice treat. Kind of like the videos I used to make back in the day before I had my little channel reboot. Won't have narration, but it will have some nice music and a catchy montage. So yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all then. I still got another minute in the video, so I'll discuss a little briefly what happened earlier in the scene. Earlier when I was in my AMX, I was trying to get that Ho-Ri, and the Kugelblitz, I don't know if he was aiming wrong or if War Thunder was acting up again, but he wasn't able to effectively take on that Ho-Ri, and I'm like, come on dude, help me. And he tried, but he just could not get that Ho-Ri. At first I was really mad, like, dude, learn to play. I didn't say that in the chat, obviously, but I was like, just learn to play, man. And then I watched the replay, I was like, oh. And then I kind of felt bad. Because I don't know if that was entirely his fault, or if it was just, War Thunder being RNG that it is. No pun intended. Because, obviously, there's factors to count, such as internet connection or server connection. I won't delve into that because that's a little complicated. But yeah, that's pretty much my little update. I hope you enjoyed this little gameplay, and I hope to get back in a little schedule, and I can't wait for Bigfoot 2.0. I don't think it's dead yet, especially with their recent devlog, but I just can't wait. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a great day, or a great night. Peace out.